We've got former UBS America CEO, very, very powerful Democratic insider, golfing partner of one Barack Obama, and loved by both sides, I should say, Fox News contributor Robert Wolf. Good to see you.
Good to see you.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year to you.
Do you think we're still going to have a shutdown?
I would say it's better than 50-50, but the only thing we may not have a shutdown is if we do this 3-day, let's see if they can work over the next 3 days and get something done.
That sounds stupid.
I think it is stupid. I think a shutdown's stupid because I think at the end of the day, it's not good for anyone.
What magic would come up in 3 days? Well, we haven't been doing these last 3 months.
Listen, you and I have talked. There's a lot of things that if they would have done some things bipartisan, an up and down vote could have immediately been a plus. You could have gotten CHIP done. You probably could have gotten DACA and border security to get it done.
But how did all this other stuff get attached to a spending measure?
Because they just kick the can.
That's how they do it,
They
right?
continually kick the can. And
by the way, it happened with Republicans, too. And
absolutely.
The same.
You can't have that. You can't have it be about the debt ceiling, right? We have to pay our debts. So the continuing resolution is the one time you can put your foot in the
And this is all
cement.
about monies that have already been appropriated. I mean, and spent.
Well, so the debt ceiling's on the spent. The continuing resolution is a budget that by the way, we never balance our budget.
Right.
I mean, so it's kind of like silly time. Listen, I agree with Lindsey Graham. We need more military spending. I agree with the Democrats. We need hurricane relief. We need the children's insurance program. We should be able to fix DACA alongside border security. Those things on an up and down vote would be voted up. So I don't know if you attach them or not attach them, but we should be able to rectify those important bipartisan issues. And so the only hammer either side has now is the continuing resolution to shut the government. I think it's an illogical approach, but I'm not sure there's another one.
I don't think it has any stay-through impact. I don't mean to minimize. I'm a hypocrite. We're going wall to wall with it. But I think in the scheme of things, our credit last time got downgraded, not in the middle of a shutdown, but the theatrics ahead of one.
Yeah.
So what matters to you, forget party affiliation, but as a money guy looking at this, because I look at it from abroad in the views of other money guys who say, man, in the United States, they've got some serious issues.
Yeah, I would say from a dollars and cents perspective, this is almost irrelevant because those who aren't going to be paid for a short period will get paid, like we've done in the past. They get their pay back.
How does that work, by the way? They don't freeze money out of our paychecks. So the money still keeps coming in. Who decides? Is it Treasury that decides?
It will be the Treasury
order?
because...
So you want to make good on interest payments on the debt because the defaults on that would be...
There's two different things. So you have the debt ceiling, which is not right now in play.
Not an issue now.
The continuing resolution is how much money we have in discretionary, non-discretionary to keep our country doing the things we need to do.
But you avoid default at these big things that people get panicked about. The biggest way is not making good on a government debt obligation.
Correct, but this is not
that's not going to happen.
That's not going to happen, so that's why you can use this as the hammer. Because if we shut down the government, we're going to reopen it. People are going to be paid back. What this forces everyone to do is realize there are some big issues that need to be resolved. There's a better way to resolve it. But it feels
both parties have become trapped to their extremes, right?
Yeah, I was surprised. We were just talking about it. The Washington Post, ABC just came out with a poll. They said 49% are going to blame it on Trump and Republicans. I think it was
fake news.
Yeah, whatever it is. And there was X percent, I think 28 Democrats and 18 both. To me, I think at the end of the day, people are really just fed up and things not being accomplished. We should not. I mean, I look at the children's health program, the insurance program, CHIP. That has to be done. Military spending, we have to.
It's not as if money would stop going to that.
No, they would shut down these are times to shut down. These shut down the programs.
All right, but when you hear Dianne Feinstein and Nancy Pelosi, that people die and all that stuff, do you think that's just a tad bit of hyperbole?
I don't. I think on some of the things like the children health insurance program, there are not alternatives to government help. I mean, listen, I'm not saying I'm for government spending. I'm for a balanced budget, okay? But at the end of the day, there are those that we need to help and need.
So Republicans offered that, right? Republicans offered CHIP funding for 6 years.
They did offer the CHIP funding, but let's be honest.
Do you think DACA should be attached to something like this?
I think we should be able to resolve DACA with border security easily. Okay, that's something that 90% of our country want both.
Because the way it's being framed by Republicans, as you know, Robert, is that, all right, in the interest of looking after illegals, whatever you think of the children of those who got here illegally, they're going to screw it up for all of you legal Americans. That's how they are framed.
Yeah, it's just inaccurate. This is politics. We're talking about children who know nothing but the United States. They would not know what Mexico or El Salvador.
Do you think that argument resonates in a shutdown argument?
Listen, you and I have been together a decade. Populist rhetoric resonates on both sides.
Yeah, you're right.
Okay, we've gone to our
How do you think the president's handling this?
I don't think he's been that effective because he's flip-flopped on DACA, he's flip-flopped on CHIP.
We don't know why he flip-flopped on this,
Yeah.
but you're right. I mean, the impression was after that Tuesday meeting that he was going to sign anything they offered.
Right.
Well, they offered something. The scuttlebutt was, and Lindsey Graham is annoyed by it, that he got some conservatives in his ear who told him this is a bad deal, and he changed his mind. I don't know the details, but that's the rap he's got that he torpedoed.
Yeah, I think that he made a comment, you know, hey, maybe a shutdown would be good. A shutdown is not good for anyone. It's just not good. So when he puts those little things out and people say, oh, well, maybe, you know, maybe he'll veto what we bring to him. So I think at the end of the day, I would let Congress do what they think they need to get done, and I hope the president signs it.
The markets right now, when you advise clients, you're one of the best, investment minds I know. Would you tell them to get nervous, or would you tell them keep diving in? This is a great investment.
There's no question corporate tax reform was a big boost. Global GDP feels good, but we're getting a bit lofty. And I'll tell you why I'm getting a little nervous. When you see Treasury rates start backing up to over 2.5,
2.64.
all of a sudden people say, okay, I have to look at risk reward, and I think, it's feeling a little lofty.
You're not in the camp that says that's going to propel more buying because people are going to see that as a sign of good times to come.
Where I would disagree is that there is not spend because you have more money. Corporations are loaded with cash. If they thought there was a good organic investment, they would go do it. They don't hire because they have more money. They hire because they see real growth. It feels better, confidence is better, but we've yet to really see 3% plus in a continuous basis. So, I'm hopeful, but I haven't seen the signs to tell me that we're there to stay.
All right, Robert, thank you very much, Robert. Well,